Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Rabiatul Adawiyah binti Buang and I will be the first presenter to be discussing to you today on our research proposal. Before I move on, let me tell you that my pair for this research is Siti Maryam binti Muhammad. Without wasting our time, let's begin. Our research is entitled The Employee Perception Towards Women Leadership Effectiveness in Kuching, Sarawak. The reason why we choose this title is because we see that there is not much study done regarding women leadership in qualitative in Malaysia. Moreover, by doing this study, we wanted to explore more about how do employees in Kuching define the effectiveness of women leader in their organization. Let's move on to our background of study in Chapter 1. This study is emphasizing on the perception of the employee that determine the effectiveness of the female leader. As women leaders tend to be seen as weaker than men in leadership, researchers want to find the factor that can contribute to the effectiveness of female leader, be it leadership style, the personality of individual, and etc. Since leader plays important roles in organization, we have been wondering whether the effectiveness of women leader can make change to the organization. To continue, as for the statement of problem, the first problem that found is there is lack of research on women leadership in Malaysia, since most of study is done outside the country, such as Sri Lanka, Germany, Japan, and more. Besides, the research that is related on the employee perception is mostly done in quantitative method. For the last problem is regarding the research that are mostly emphasizing on leadership style, gender-based leadership, the employee engagement, and leader attributes. As for the research question, there are few questions that we express. Firstly, what is the meaning or views of effective woman leader to the employee? Secondly, how important is an effective woman leadership on employees? Thirdly, is what are the factors contribute to the effectiveness of woman leadership in organization? And lastly, what are the effects of an effective woman leader to the organization? As shown in the slide, our research framework will focusing on the employee perception on where they define leadership effectiveness on women leader, the factor and the effect of effective women leaders. To summarize, in this study, there are few terms that we need to know. First is on the employee. The employee refers to workers that are monitored by female leader. Next, perception. Perception refers to the way the employee think about their woman leader. As for leadership, it is the ability of woman leader to influence worker in order to achieve both employees and organization goals. Lastly, the effectiveness. It refers to the successfulness of female leader in the organization. Next, let's move on to literature review in Chapter 2. Referring to Reed Tanger, 2014, the researcher is emphasizing on leadership style and the employee engagement. However, this research are only focusing more on the factors that contribute to the employee engagement. Moving on to Siti Maryam.
Hi, I'm Siti Maryam. I will continue this presentation. There are several theories and approaches in building leadership style in leaders, such as behavioral theory. The behavioral leadership theory focuses on how leaders act and assumes that this characteristic can be imitated by other leaders. The behavioral theory has many advantages, and the most important is leaders can learn and decide what action they want to take to become the type of leader they want to be. It enables leaders to be adaptable and flexible in response to changing circumstances. One disadvantage of behavioral theory is, while it allows for flexibility, it does not directly suggest to behave in specific situations. There are dozens of leadership styles that stem from behavioral theory, but there isn't one that is right for every situation. The past researchers have discussed leadership style and employee reaction towards organizational change. The study findings shows that three factors of employee reaction have contributed to the organizational change, that are frequency of change, trust in management, and employees' participations. However, these factors do not influence organizational change completely. There are numerous other factors to consider, such as leadership issues and leadership characteristics. Change in the organization may occur as a result of leadership issues. For instance, weaknesses in leading the organization toward goal achievement. Employees will react negatively to their leadership as a result. Furthermore, factors of leadership characteristics also influence organizational change. For example, leaders who lack empathy for their employees encourage employees to react negatively, contributing to organizational change. Next, we move to Chapter 3. It will describe the instruments that will be used in this study. In this study, the researcher has set a group of employees consisting of 4 participants from any government or private sector, especially those who have experience or are being led by women leaders in the organization. This study will be conducted through individual interviews with each participant. All information obtained from participants will be stored and kept confidentially by the researcher because it is only needed in conducting this study only. The researcher chose to use qualitative methods that contain textual and visual material, analysis from journals, books, and some other reading materials. Interview and observation session will also be used. For the data collection method, the interview session is the main method that will be used in this qualitative research to collect data from participants. Thus, the researcher can also observe the reaction of the participant while sharing opinions, views, and experience on the matter discussed. The type of interview conducted is semi-structured interview question. To ensure that the information obtained meets the achievement of objective, interview guideline will be made to obtain the required information input. The interview session will be conducted for around 30 to 40 minutes for each individual in face-to-face with 8 to 10 related questions. For the selection of participants, the selected individuals consisted of 4 peoples that are 2 males and 2 females in any of government and private sector. For the data collection and analysis, the researcher will jot down the information obtained based on the answers from participants during the interview session. At the same time, video recording will be taken for use in transcribing the data obtained. That is a bit of instrument that will be used by the researcher in this study. That's all from us. Thank you.